is a push. There is a push that we must have in this here and now that pushes, that forces us or thrust us or throw us forward. It is very, 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 very difficult. If we're not focused, if we're not determined, we can grow very weary in well doing. And so today we want to talk about the push to overcome weariness. The struggle continues. It will never end, really. Victories will be won and battles will be declared. But the struggle really never ends. It goes on from glory to glory, as the Bible says. And so I want to encourage you, and I want you to encourage me and touch me back on Spreaker, iBroadcast TV, comments on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Hit me up and let me know what you are doing to push back on weariness. My name is Marcus Saletta. Surely I have issues, but I bring to the table the wisdoms from the pains and the scars of life. And this is the Coach's Corner. Welcome aboard. Well, welcome aboard once again to the Coach's Corner as we move forward in the push to overcome weariness. Won't keep you long today. Today's word is I want you to share with us what you're doing. Don't make it vague. Make it practical. Make it where we can grab hold on to it and share it with someone. But I want to hear from you as to what you're doing to overcome weariness, because to me, weariness is the wearing down of the struggle within and without. The wearing down. The wearing down. There has not been a refreshing. There has not been a recirculating or repercolating of fresh air, fresh rest, fresh deliverance from whatever and into whatever. And so often, more than not, we jump from one hot frying pan to another, and we don't know how to give ourselves a rest. Sit by the brook and wait for further instructions. So I want to talk about that just for a minute today, but I want to hear from you. Hit us up on Twitter at Select USA TV. Maybe on Facebook, the Coach's Corner fan page there, or you can go to the website. Man, there's so many different ways you can share, but share your thoughts, www.sibntelevision.com. You can share there for those of you that are part of the social network community, and you can share also on our new website. You can leave it right there in the chat, or at the bottom. You scroll down to the bottom of the home page. There's comment section. Share with us, maybe right here on Spreaker. What are you doing to push back on weariness? Now, let's get to the struggles. The struggles continue. They continue no matter who you are. Short, tall, black, white, healthy, big bone, petite, small bone, Midwestern, Southern. It doesn't matter. The struggles on a multifaceted aspect of our lives continue politically. The struggles continue politically, socially. The struggles continue economically. The struggles continue even spiritually. Yes, we have victory, but there is a struggle going on, in case you didn't know. A lot of young people feel, like Superman right now. But that's their way of avoiding the process that the struggle brings, because the struggle brings processes that we don't want to deal with, And so for those of you that are more mature, or for those of you that are aiming or maturing toward a more stable lifestyle, you find yourself trying to adapt to the strategies and the tactics and the multifacets of the various struggles that you have in life. It seems like that once you get, one area solved, this one pops up. And then once you get that fixed, another one pops up. And finally meet a good person, then another issue pops up. Then you finally get going in your good relationship. Then your health start acting up. Then you get your health, and then your friend dies. And then, you know what I'm saying? So after a while, the struggle within, the struggle without becomes, it takes a toll on you. And I always say, if you haven't taken a vacation, or if you're not taking vacations on a regular basis, you cannot afford not to take a vacation. You can't afford not to take a vacation, because vacation is currency for the future. Vacation is currency for your future. You have to have a detachment for greater appreciation for the journey in and of itself. The constant grind requires detachment times. Detachment times, so that when you regroup, there is a fresh pool of ideas, concepts, there's a fresh energy, there's a fresh resourcefulness, there's a fresh conception, a perception of the plethora of things that you may be dealing with. See, and so we have to detach, and it's hard to detach. It really is. It's hard to not use your phone for 6 hours, 4 hours, or 2 hours. It's hard to just detach from the digital world, detach from the always communicating, always talking, always saying something environment. It's hard to detach from whatever, if you drive a lot, it's hard to start walking or cycling. But these various areas of detachment help refresh us, help refresh us, help renew us. See, even for those that go to church all the time, it helps for them not to go to church. Maybe one weekend they could take their families to the mountains and really appreciate each other in a spiritual environment that they recreate for themselves, that they may drink of fresh waters. See, the monotony of doing any task over and over may not serve the purpose of overcoming weariness, because monotony in and of itself, a predictable pattern, makes things in our lives expendable. See, so when we make some unpredictable moves, sometime go sit by the brook and be quiet, or go to the mountains, or cycle, or steal away and go see a friend, someone who can't give us anything or can't make our situation better. They're not going to loan us anything. We just want to go say hi, hello, how are you, and listen to them talk and share. And engage ourselves in the lives of others on the level of service that will allot us a refreshment, an appreciation for the life in and of itself. That we're here in this moment. We're aiming to make a difference, but we're here in this moment enjoying life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, if you will, the pursuit of spiritual maturity, if you will. It's very difficult to do that, but that is one of the ways to overcome weariness, is to simply detach at some point. There's many ways you can't detach physically. You can detach mentally, where you start practicing, a certain time frame of solace, whether it be an attempt to break a habit, whether it be opening up a book for 3 minutes. And every time you can, you steal 3 minutes out of your day to delve into books that will give you refreshing ideas. Whether it be shutting off the television, in my car, in my automobile, I rarely listen to the radio, and not because I don't want to, but too often, or more than not, I'm thinking and I'm meditating. Sometimes I think too much, but I'm meditating, and I want to just be able to reflect on the how-to. I have concepts and ideas, but I want to be able to tap into the how-to. I want to tap into the wisdom of the how. You know what I'm saying? And so the radio becomes a distraction, but then there are other times when I really just need to detach from thinking, and I'll turn the radio on. But some people have the radio on every time they get in the car. I can't do it. But whatever works for you, you have to know what works for you and try some things new as well. For some of you, you may have to definitely try some things new, because this is how we stay in the battle. This is how we stay refreshed. I was reading a quote that someone had posted on Facebook not too long ago, and they were saying that fasting without prayer is a diet. And I was thinking to myself, really, wait a minute. Fasting without prayer and donating the food that you would normally eat is like prayerlessness, because the word says over there in Isaiah that he would hear those who would feed the hungry during their fast. You know, I was thinking, how refreshing would it be that if you're going to fast and pray, that you take the food that you normally would eat and you package it and you give it to someone who can't pay you back and someone who is hungry as you're moving around the cabin of life. You know, rather than just fast and pray, why don't we fast, pray, and give? That is what really makes, and I haven't heard that taught a lot, but we need to get back to accurate teachings regarding fasting, because there's a danger in fasting without doing the giving part. It makes you arrogant. You start thinking that you and God got it going on. Nobody else can tell you anything. I don't have to get off in that. But the bottom line is, the refreshness of fasting and praying would be that I would take that meal that I normally would cook for myself, and maybe I'd prepare a meal for this person or this group, and I would donate this meal. That is a fast. Most people think fasting is just going without the meal. But no, the fast that breaks the chains is when you say, I'm going to take this television. That's another thing that you could do. See, I'm going to take this television and I'm going to donate this digital media to X, Y, and Z, someone that just, moved into an apartment, don't have a television. And I'm going to fast from the pleasures, from the sugar, from the sweetness of life, if you will. And make that fast more refreshing, so that after you fast, you don't become weary. When you come off the fast, all of a sudden you see that you have a little bit more personal power and spiritual power perhaps, and then all of a sudden you're right back to a sluggish weariness. You see, well, giving always, and I want to say that as I close, giving always refreshes anything. When we give of the values of our lives, it always, and that's another strategy. Giving is a strategy. God loves a cheerful giver, and a cheerful giver is one who plans and plots to give. Another strategy to overcome weariness. I was doing something, as I close, I was doing something the other day, and I was thinking about my son, and of course, you always think as a father the things that you want your children to do, but we never think about the things that they have accomplished and that they're standing in the midst of, so I gave him a compliment. Why? Because as I gave him that compliment, it refreshed my perception. It refreshed my perception. Now, the compliment was sitting in my mind, but I hadn't given it away. I hadn't sown it. But once I sold that compliment, my mind began in that moment to be refreshed, so that I could be able to see anew how to relate to him and how to encourage him and how to be there to govern, but to also guide him. You see what I'm saying? And so these are the things that we want to share with you today. Of detachment, that helps you overcome weariness. Detachment comes in many forms, and then also rest, relaxation, is all caught up in that detachment. But also giving is a source of overcoming weariness. Man, that's all I have for you today, man. I trust that you will stay in touch and let everybody know that the Coach's Corner is rolling on. We have a special broadcast for those of you that are watching in real time or listening in real time for some things coming up here, so stay tuned for that. But thank you so very much. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Spreaker, iBroadcast TV, wherever you see SIBN radio and television networks. Follow us there. Thank you so very much. Let us hear from you. What is your methods that you're using to overcome weariness? Weariness being the being worn down from the struggle within and without. And I want to encourage you. Sometimes in the midst of weariness, it's not a time to make major decisions. If you just came out of the frying pan, please, for the love of goodness, don't put yourself back in the frying pan. Take a respite, detach yourself, and then revisit those issues that are concerning your heart, those desires, those wishes at a later date. This is the coach. Until next time, take care of yourself.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station.